Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kurojiri, your resident tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Now, as we say farewell to the Bang Brave Bravern collaboration in this next week or so, albeit the gacha banners will stick around for one more week, of course, for anyone that did want to make a last-ditch attempt. We are officially cresting into the summertime party time mode, and much like we were kind of expecting, through the month of July, we may or may not be seeing more information leading up to the 4.5-year anniversary, which this is roughly about the time they start hyping that up for. But it looks like between now and then, we're going to be having a 2-week summertime festival as we celebrate the introduction of 2 brand new models by Mr. TAGRO himself. And I have to say, just with this one here alone, he really did outdo himself with the particular themes that are very well known and loved for when it comes to summertime and party time. That being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was officially announced for this week as we kind of slow things down just a little bit as we give a chance to kind of recoup and relax a little bit before things amp back up again for an anniversary. Starting, of course, with the gacha banners, and another really big surprise with that one, which I will get to here in just a minute, as you obviously see. The brand new model being introduced this week is SWS0 Leafy Tongue, the Gyaru Seahorse type, with a kit of anti-jammer, mud shot, anti-sea, sea legs, and the leg ability of adapter. Now, Leafy Tongue is popular for actually a couple of reasons. First of which is she's actually a very synergetic model unto herself. Just to explain briefly, she basically converts all enemies she attacks into sea legs, which will be the second ever instance of mud shot in this game at all. First ever on females. She can then torpedo them out of that water with anti-sea, cover her own weaknesses with anti-jammer, and she has zero issue with terrain with that adapter leg ability. So going to be a very solid option if you're looking for someone that can make use of that in the same instance that you would tornado and anti-air spam. The additional big bonus that we're getting this week, of course, as you see here, is the big old yellow beetle himself, KBT-01 Metabee, the anime variant, back from Medarot Day 23's limited time collaboration for another run, with a kit of Missile A, Rifle A, Gatling A, biped legs, and a leg ability of Battle Master. I will cover more detail on why he in particular is here this week, but I can tell you for a fact, if Leafy Tongue doesn't necessarily appeal to you in any way, shape, or form, whatever the case may be, you absolutely do not want to miss Metabee A. With his incredibly versatile and powerful kit he brings to the table, it's incredibly common to see at least one of his parts, if not him as a whole set, in almost any round of PvP that you manage. Just because he covers so many bases just on his own. So really big ticket item there just between these 2 models alone, and whether you want to prioritize one or the other, it's completely up to you, depending on which one suits your fancy and which one best fills your libraries. Now when it comes to boosted banners this time around, we do actually see a couple of faces that we have not seen for a pretty hot minute. The first of which is MRN0 Blue Submarine, with a kit of Conceal, Double Anti-Sea, Sea Legs, and the leg ability of Primacy, who also is transforming into a vehicle-like mode, where he exchanges his kit out entirely for Sword, Fight, and Mobile Boost, but maintains Sea Legs and the Primacy leg ability. Now, like I said, we've not seen Blue Submarine for a pretty hot minute, so it's going to be really nice to see him come back around. And in addition, we also have GAT-0 Sea Swallow, a newcomer from Medarot S, also making an official boosted rate as well, with a kit of Thunder Shot, Laser, Needle Guard, biped legs, and the leg ability of Carrier. Now we obviously have a very obvious summertime water theme here, with a submarine, a sea dragon, slug technically, and a Gyaru beach girl as well. So it's going to be a very popular week as we crest into week 1 of 2, and very likely I suspect week 3 will probably give us something official for the 4.5-year anniversary. So if for some reason nothing here particularly interests you and you got lucky with Metabee A back at Medarot Day 2023, well, this might be a good week for you to kind of relax a little bit. With fierce battles we have going on this week, we actually have a lot of really useful ones this week, so it's going to be very busy for farming, especially for newcomers and rookies that are just starting out, or even for older players that perhaps missed them the first time. Starting the lineup for the Fierce Battles this week, we have KBT-11 Sagehorn with triple sword, biped legs, and generator. Next to him, we have his twin, KWG-11 Hirschkaffer with triple rifle, biped legs, and radiator. And we have EPI-0 Bonecracker with heel trap, double sword, float legs, and straight. On this bottom row, we're basically playing off with all three of the select trio, with TIR-0 Attack Tyranno with fire, double hammer, biped legs, and straight. PTL-0 Air Terra with radar sight, double sword, flight legs, and straight. And then BRA-0 Land Brachio with beam, double anti-air, tank legs, and bullet rain. So like I said, we have a lot of really good models available this week for Fierce Battles as we start into July. And it's going to be a really tough week actually to determine one over the other, because being completely honest, they're all really useful in one form or another. That being said though, Sagehorn and Hirschkaffer, the Beetle pair of this week, I do honestly have to give MVP of the week just because they're so widely versatile. Basic sword, basic rifle, even if the legs really aren't all that useful, you really can't ever possibly go wrong with the very balanced skills that they bring to the table. Maybe not overly as powerful, but with the incredible well-balanced stats and the lack of cooldown penalties, you can use them very reliably either as pure set or as mixed parts. Same can be said for Bonecracker if you're looking for basic sword, and on that note, we actually have a lot of basic sword attacks this week as well with the Fierce Battles. Sagehorn, Bonecracker, Air Terra. They're going to be a pretty predominantly melee-heavy week, but still very hefty parts and very worthwhile parts to farm all the same. If you're brand new and starting out, it never hurts to collect all 6 of these just for the sake of having them on hand. If you're seasoned vet or perhaps missed one, maybe just a couple extra research points and it would never do you some harm either if there's nothing to do. Now, as we kick off through the summertime events as well, like we did last year with summertime, we're also getting 2 brand new limited time swimsuits Medarotters. This time around, we're highlighting Ibuki and Nozomi. Their special skills, for Ibuki in particular, will negate, and I repeat this, we verified this carefully, she will negate outright any incoming anti-air or anti-sea damage 100% and fully raised for 3 turns or until the enemy is attacked. So this will be very good for your coverage for anyone that is using air or sea-based legs and want to guarantee that you have at least that coverage and life insurance and don't get nuked into next Tuesday because you perhaps overlooked somebody that had some kind of coverage against you. Nozomi, on the other hand, is a little bit simpler of a skill, where she simply will reduce incoming damage by 15% until attacked. So, another very useful ability for life insurance, just to guarantee that a particularly strong blow won't cripple you as easily. But Ibuki is also worth noting she is the first skill to actually outright negate damage in this way. This does not include anyone that anchors damage to a certain percentage or below a certain armor rating, or even Medarotters like Cutie, who simply just reduce it by a very significant amount. Ibuki here actually outright nullifies it for that one hit, or until it wears off. So if you do make use of high-speed flight legs or sea legs, probably wouldn't hurt to go after collecting one of these 2 just in case. Additionally, beside these 2, we are also getting reruns of the Summer 23 duo, which is Megumi and Minori, both the pro tags from Medarot Girls Mission, and their swimsuit editions as well. Minori, just as a friendly reminder, will boost incoming damage by 1.3. I actually did type that wrong. She boosts damage by 1.3, but she debuffs resist by 40%, but also buffs your crit by 60%. So very good for if you want to make sure that you nuke someone particularly hard, but you're also not afraid to go in glass cannon with it, and you have them covered with the shielder on the team. Megumi, on the other hand, will instead reduce damage by 10% and an additional 7.5% if you're using biped legs. So maybe not as hefty as, say, Nozomi might, actually just slightly more, but just slightly higher damage reduction, but hers is conditional where Nozomi's is not. So just something to bear in mind, but it is worth noting that all 4 of the swimsuit Medarotters this time around all have a very powerful skill all the same. If I did have to prioritize them in a particular order, at least in my personal opinion, I would honestly have to grade them and prioritize them pretty much in the same way I wrote them here. Ibuki probably will have the highest value with the ultimate negation of anti-air and sea attacks for coverage, Nozomi for more consistent damage reduction, even if that's basically just it, Minori for the boost to damage and debuff to stats if you can cover it, and Megumi for the basic damage reduction and additional under condition. Now, in light of all this summertime festivities, that's where the festivities actually begin, but I will get to that in just a moment. In a surprising turn of events, Mr. TAGRO, who was the artist and designer for Leafy Tongue and the twin that she came out with that was revealed this week, also revealed an official new skin that is available on the page shop for Leafy Tongue. So if the idea of a caramel skinned Gyaru seahorse isn't quite down your alley, well, guess what? We now have the Gyaru in two different flavors, if I recall it correctly, Kuro Gyaru and Shiro Gyaru, depending on which one you particularly enjoy. I don't think this skin will be going anywhere anytime soon, and it'll probably just sit on the web store until you purchase it, but it also does come with 15 rubies as an extra prize, so that also helps towards your pulls as well. So the skin is ultimately optional, you really don't need it, it's not going to change your performance in battle, but if tan skin really isn't your flavor, well, you have an alternative if you're willing to sink a few bucks into it. And honestly, the skins really aren't all that expensive either, and if you do collect Leafy Tongue, you can basically use these parts, or the skins of the parts, at essentially any time with any kind of team build. So, with that argument, consider the coloring possibilities going forward. One other thing to mention, we are also getting a Super Invasion featuring Leafy Tongue herself, and another Marathon Survival, which we have not had for a while, so it is going to be really nice to see that. But with the Super Invasion, given that she is a sea-based leg, and they are getting a little obnoxious with their modifiers, but still manageable within means, I do highly expect that one's probably going to ban Anti-Sea at some point. But, given that she also has Anti-Jammer on there to cover her weakness, I really don't think it's going to matter because she'd probably counter it anyway if you give her enough time to stall. But it is going to be very easy to do so. I'm not 100% sure on the modifiers of this naturally, that's simply just a guess, so we will have to see going forward. For Marathon Survival, since that's something we have not had for a pretty hot minute, explaining it ever so briefly, you essentially go in with your set of parts, or set of team, and all 12 parts that you used upon completion of that round are added to a banned list. Every round you complete adds more parts to the banned list, and this is basically just a test to make sure that you've been raising other things besides your usual parts, and how flexible you are with team builds, in particular using things that you perhaps don't use super often. So, this is usually a really good lesson and reminder that even if you don't use something 100% of the time, it's still going to be very useful to have raised, at the very least to rank 3, which is level 60, just so you have it on hand. You don't need to raise it all the way up to 90 or 100. 60 is a really good stopping point for most parts. 90 will be for the ones you use mainly, and level 100 will be for the parts you absolutely used without a doubt. The summertime events, finally, that we are going to be underway with, it's going to be a 2-week event naturally. This week presents Leafy Tongue, the next week with her twin that was also revealed. For this event, we have the opportunity to earn the limited time rewards for RAY0 Roll Star, with a kit of triple laser, wheeled legs, and breakneck, and in a surprising turn of events, players have been begging, and I mean begging, for Roll Star to get another run, because this was a year 1 event reward. This means that if you missed out on the first year of events, you didn't even know Roll Star existed until today. And even with the current shift in meta, triple non-heavy lasers and a pretty fairly solid wheeled leg at that, Roll Star can hold his own remarkably well if you build him right. He will be just a little expensive, of course, but still worth it all the same. And it's exciting that they're bringing back all these year 1 rewards as well to kind of cycle back in the pool for newer players. Additionally, we can also earn the Seahorse medal, which has a mastery in shooting, support, and defense, with a leg mastery in multi-ped, flight, and sea. So a very good opportunity here, and a sniper nature medal at that, which we actually have not had for a pretty hot minute. We've had assist, we've had guard, we've had power, we even guard actually a good number of times fairly recently, but not any sniper nature medals, so it's going to be nice to have another one of those once again to add to the libraries. We can also earn more limited time gacha tickets as you see here, and lots more limited time rewards going through the course of the next couple weeks. This particular event will be ticket based, featuring the blue and the silver based ticket rewards. We'll be highlighting those bonuses as you see here. Sea Swallow and Blue Submarine will highlight the main bonus at +3 per part equipped for the blue ticket bonuses. It will be a +2 for Marie Crown, Dead Pile, Momoiro Maple, Fancy Ale, or Pom Pom Maid, and a very impressive large roster there, at a +2 each, and the Fierce Battles at a +1. For the Metarotters, SR ranks for Minori or Ibuki will give you a +3 each, +2 for SR Arase, +2 for a R rank of Ibuki or Minori, and a +1 for the N rank of either of them and Arase or the R rank of Arase. Clearly, the guy's not going to be getting a lot of popularity this time around, but that's 100% fine. Beach episodes are usually for the ladies to show their stuff, and this week is most certainly going to be no exception. The silver ticket bonuses, of course, Leafy Tongue will give you that bonus at +3 per part, and Rollstar at +1 per part equipped respectively. And for the Metarotters, of course, all three of the, both of the highlighted summer swimsuits for this year of Ibuki and Nozomi, and Minori specifically, will give you a +3 to +1 bonus each, depending on who you pull for. I highly expect that Megumi will get her bonus next week as well, and they'll probably cycle Ibuki and Nozomi once again for those bonuses as well. So if you collect the Metarotters, you probably have something pretty consistent between these next couple weeks. One other thing to remind you too, because they did actually change ticket-based rewards fairly recently. They no longer are 1 part per bot per team, it is now per part stackable, which means if you have, for instance, a full set of Leafy Tongue, that's actually a full +12 silver ticket bonus, not a simple +3, as it used to be for 4 years up to this point. So you can go mixed sets, you can go pure sets, mixed parts, it's completely up to you going forward. One other thing to mention, the reason why Metabee A is being highlighted this week is actually for a couple of reasons. I did list it, of course, back on the gacha page as well, but just to explain it in detail, this actually celebrates the 25th anniversary of the anime actually airing. So it's been a pretty hot minute, and it's been a wonderful journey as they've been airing the main anime back last year leading up to Medarot Day 23. And of course, with only 8 episodes left of Medarot Spirits or Damashi, as we go into the next couple months as well. To celebrate this, they did also release Metabee A, which at one time was a limited time collab model. Reminder of that, if he's gone, he's gone. So make sure you prioritize him if Leafy Tongue does not tickle your fancy. And Blue Submarine and Sea Swallow will also get boosted rates on his banner as well. Additionally, we are also getting a rerun of Koji's specialized Super Invasion that was also released during Medarot Day 23. So if you missed it the first time, you have an opportunity to go do it again, and just kind of cycle with a special guest of every single STG type that was well known through the generations, including finishing off with Sea Vitalis, which is the new Saber Tiger type featuring the regal knightly appearance instead of the traditional animalistic barbaric appearance. I highly expect that next week we'll be seeing Rokusho A getting his chance in the spotlight as well, and we will also be seeing Karen's special Super Invasion as well to celebrate the anniversary from the anime. I do expect maybe we might hear something about it closer to the end of when Damashi airs. We may or may not see something special for it, maybe a Saikachis or a Black Beetle A, maybe, I don't know, that's what the current talk of the conversation is, but we will have to see in the next couple months as those final episodes are airing going forward. One last thing to mention game side is that we're also getting new PvP skins that was announced for the month of July as well. This time around highlighting a Yudohime style Marie Crown and a Hikoboshi style Dead Pile. So going to be very nice rewards there. Once again, the skins are not required, they just make your model look pretty or for additional cosmetic color or with paint chips. The other ones, particular Summerfest Momoiro Maple, Summer Style Pom Pom Mate, and Fancy Ale, were actually all models from last year's Summer Festival. This time around, though, Maples in particular can be earnable through the PvP, whereas Pom Pom Mate and Fancy Ale will be available for purchase in the skin shop. I have said it in previous months, I will say it again, I really love that they're recycling all these older skins as well for newer players to get the opportunity to pull them, because there are a lot of wonderful skins that they put a lot of time and effort into the designs of, and I just love to see people using these and just all the creativity that goes behind them. Going forward with community-based stuff as I step away from the game, we are always looking for translators to assist us with any current projects or endeavors. Right now, Medarot 3 is basically finished. It just needs a couple last-minute grammar checks, couple minor debug fixes, but otherwise, it's basically done, 100%. It is fully playable in its current state, and you can now experience the game of Medarot 3 in its entirety in English and learn more of the story of Ikki and the crew. We're also looking for help with working on Medarot 4, which is just now kicking off more and more underway, and working on other projects like 5 and Navi and even so on. And in fact, even just the other day too, we were getting in a conversation in the Discord server talking about wanting to make like Medarot ROM hacks, and just gonna kind of bench everything to the side for a minute and just kind of splurge. I would absolutely love to see something happen. We have dozens and dozens of Pokemon ROM hacks all over the internet, and I would absolutely love, if we perhaps had an individual or a group of individuals that was able to successfully decompile a Medarot game's engine, whether it be the original Game Boy engine or even Medarot Navi's engine, which has been a really big topic of discussion. And perhaps we could use that to make our own Medarot ROM hack games. And if someone actually does mention that they're doing that or has done it, if this video ever does find you, find me. Talk to me. I will absolutely, without a doubt, be a spriter. I love doing sprite work as a little side hobby of mine, and I would absolutely, without a doubt, be down to do that and work on a ROM hack with you. So, little public call out there. But anyway, if you are knowledgeable, or if you know somebody that's knowledgeable in coding, cleaning, Japanese, or has some time on their hands, feel free to reach out to me or join our Discord in the link provided below. Ask around and we'll get you in touch with the right people to fill you in on what has been done and what still needs done up to this point. For the weekly art highlights here on the MNN, I found a number of really unique pieces, and honestly, it really pains me I can only find like 2 of these a week, and maybe I could fit 3 or 4 in here if I make them a little smaller. I might do that if you guys like that, or maybe want to consider it. Just mention in the comments if you'd like to see that, honestly, and I can absolutely do it. Highlighting this piece here by Twitter user Suchifuru Mifu, and Dragon Beetle's one of those models where you know he exists and then you kind of forget about it, but I really like the design they went here just to kind of help highlight and tie in the dragonfly theme that he has, using those additional legs that he has on his chest that open up when he's attacking, and the glass dome that actually simulates the eyes, or emulates the eyes of the dragonfly. Now, in Medarot 9's model, these actually are a little easier to see. In Medarot S, unfortunately, they took them out so you can't see them as easily, but still really neat to see all the same. And this one here by my dear friend Moen CHI, who highlighted everybody's favorite Blazer mate here, highlighting on a everyday life position, hugging her own little teddy bear there with a couple of toys lying around. Art like this gives me life. I love seeing casual everyday art like this. In most any kind of scenario and situation, I just absolutely love it. It's wonderful. It's a rare form of the genre of art for Medarot you almost never see on the daily. And if I see it, I absolutely will love it. And there's a good chance I probably might even highlight it, because I just love that kind of art in the genre it presents, because it's an entire, almost untouched and uncharted realm for the kind of art that people could put into the Medarot community that we are all of us are part of. So definitely give both of these artists a follow if you'd like to see more of their wonderful art in your feeds. One final note before I do officially close this out here, just as a friendly reminder, I am always open for commission. I can do live 2D models ready to rig. They are fully cut up and separated into their layers, ready to go. I can do standard 2D art as you see at varying degrees of complexity. I can do 3D models. The 3D models are fully rigged, textured, UV mapped, and optimized, ready to go. Drag and drop in any program of your choosing. MMD, VR Chat, Chill Out, SFM, whatever the case may be, they're basically all going to be ready for that. And I can do emotes as well for a bundle price. So I do like to keep things on the relatively lower end as well for the pricing to stay affordable, especially if there's anyone new looking for stuff without breaking bank doing so. You can reach out to me on Discord or on Twitter to ask around or get some more pieces of a portfolio, just to kind of help gauge if I'm perhaps the artist for you to make something happen. And if it is, feel free to reach out. We can for sure make something happen and coordinate a final price and a way bill of everything that you're looking for and what we can make happen. But with all that being said, I do believe that covers everything for this week's episode. So lots of very exciting stuff this week. I was shocked actually by the reintroduction of Meta BA. So it is going to be really nice and a big opportunity for people to pick those up that missed them the first time. But with that being said, if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page, or the Metabots Forever community on there that I do also run and manage, which currently is skyrocketing beyond 26,000 members and still growing by the day. I'm so proud to see how far that community has come in over 7 years. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any new links to merchandise, fan art, my weekly episodes, or anything else of the like that's the first place you're going to hear it before it goes anywhere else on the internet at all. You can also follow me personally on Twitter at IsaGamiKura. If you have any questions, feedback, comments, suggestions, or if you're a content creator and would love to collaborate sometime, whether that means having you here on my channel as a guest host, of which there is always an empty seat here at the news desk, or if you'd like to have me stop in on your channel for a friendly chat or a game, I would love to coordinate and try to make something happen. Feel free to reach out to me in those DMs and we can most certainly try to coordinate some schedules and make something happen. Lastly, do give these wonderful friends and pages I follow and support as well. My dear friend Sane, who I did highlight a fair bit ago as well, leading up to their debut, they did finally debut their brand new model and identity as Cyber Sane, and it was honestly wonderful. I sadly was not able to stay for the whole thing, and I did have to leave before the debut actually happened, but still a wonderful friend of mine. It's been an absolute treat getting to know Sane, and even collaborate a couple of times, and even guest host on their channel too. Definitely give them a follow and show your support. Tell them your old pal Kura sent you their way. Also, follow the official Rising Beetle page on Twitter at Rising Beetle, which has been picking up in momentum as well. This is also the official EN fan page for Medarot as well, followed by Project Rising Beetle itself unofficially. Much like my dear friend Moen does as the unofficial Medarot fan page, Rising Beetle does the very same, highlighting art, highlighting news and events, and anything else of the like related to our favorite fighting robots. Rising Beetle will also be the best place to keep yourself in the know. But, with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping in, just as you always do. And until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.